Welcome to DermWire News, powered by DermWire.com. DermWire News for Smart Speaker is made possible with advertising support from Ortho Dermatologics. I'm Stephanie Talea, Senior Managing Editor of Practical Dermatology magazine. As many as 415 million people worldwide may have rosacea, according to new research from the British Journal of Dermatology. Dr. Jacob Thijssen and colleagues at the University of Copenhagen, Denmark, conducted a systemic review of population-based studies that included information on the incidence and prevalence of rosacea. Data was collected from 32 studies around the world comprising 26.5 million patients. The proportion with rosacea in the individual studies ranged from 0.09% to 22.41%, and when the studies were pooled together, the proportion was 5.46%, which translates to 414,960,000 rosacea sufferers worldwide. However, depending on how the researchers obtained the data, the proportion of rosacea sufferers varied significantly. The prevalence of rosacea was highest when self-reported, with a rate of 9.71%, while the rate of dermatologist-diagnosed rosacea was 5.53%. Many factors may contribute to the difference in estimates, Dr. Thijssen says in a news release. While many more people may self-diagnose rosacea than are actually suffering from the condition, correct diagnosis by a physician may depend on the physician's experience as well as the patient's appearance at the time of the exam. Dr. Thijssen and colleagues said further research will be needed to more precisely determine the number of rosacea patients worldwide. Although no epidemiological studies have been published in the United States, the National Rosacea Society has estimated the number of Americans with rosacea to be more than 16 million, based on a 5% prevalence rate determined by analysis of worldwide studies and the ethnic composition of the population nationwide. Despite being a relatively common skin condition, only around 18% of Americans with rosacea are believed to be currently under medical treatment for their condition, says Dr. John Wolfe, chairman of dermatology at Baylor College of Medicine in Waco, Texas, in a news release. Many of those with milder rosacea may not even realize they have a disease that can be treated, instead using over-the-counter skin products or covering their redness with makeup. However, there are now more medical therapies available for rosacea's signs and symptoms than ever before, even for mild cases. New research shows that DermTech's pigmented lesion assay, PLA, reduces the cost while improving the care of patients with primary pigmented skin lesions suggestive of melanoma. The research appears in JAMA Dermatology. The purpose of the study was to assess the cost implications of using the PLA gene expression test using real-world utility data versus the current pathway of visual assessment followed by biopsy and histopathological assessment. This cost savings analysis demonstrated reductions of $400 to $600 per assessed pigmented lesion was achievable versus the current histopathological standard of care, based on typical reimbursement rates for PLA. Savings were primarily driven by reduction in initial surgical biopsies and excisions and reduced stage-related treatment costs for missing fewer melanomas. The increasing strain on our healthcare system and the need for cutting-edge technologies our patients deserve to help detect melanoma early when the prognosis is excellent highlight the value of the pigmented lesion assay. This test transforms the current pathway of diagnosing melanomas from one that is invasive and subjective to one that is non-invasive, objective, more accurate, and significantly cheaper. Cost savings are important, but finding melanoma early is priceless, says study author Dr. Daniel Siegel, clinical professor of dermatology at SUNY Downstate in Brooklyn and former president of the American Academy of Dermatology, in a news release. New research reveals that trifluoretine, a fourth-generation retinoid with potent and selective activity against only one particular retinoic acid receptor, may have an improved efficacy and safety profile compared with less selective retinoids. The findings appear in the British Journal of Dermatology. Trifluoretine is expected to result in low systemic levels while retaining strong activity at the skin. This is likely to lead to reduced side effects. Thank you for listening to DermWire News, powered by DermWire.com. This editorially independent program is supported with advertising from Ortho Dermatologics.